Ready? I'm sorry for the slight delay. You know me, I'm always venturing into new odds and things, and I'm trying to adjust. Alphonse, scoot on up. Thank you. Yeah, you can scoot on up, and there we go. I have as an in studio guest uh, one of my dearest friends, Alphonse Carter. And Alphonse, you can start off. I'll let you put on your thinking cap. How long have you known me?
Since about 1995.
Since 1995. Now that's amazing, Alphonse. I'm just checking to see whether I'm. Oh, okay. And let me do that. I want to. I want to share something with you. That's a long time that we've been knowing each other. What would, obviously, you're not embarrassed by giving your age, are you?
I'll be 81 October 6th.
He's older. I always thought Alphonse was, I don't know, 5 years younger than I. But he'll be 81. And I'll be 80 on, you know, February the 8th. I would say, Alphonse, that you and I are elders, right?
Right?
Because of our, the time that we've been on the planet.
But I don't feel like an elder. I take the classification because of the system's demographic administration. So, according to the system, I am an elder. But so I would pose the question: what does it feel like to be an elder? Because
Mm.
going back many years ago, I started relating to even all the younger men as my equal, and I still have that idea right now.
This is what I do as an elder. I know that all the power that I have, if I have any, and let's call this power energy, okay?
Okay,
This energy that, because I'm a monotheist, I still believe in God. I believe that all the energy that is in me is communicable.
meaning the source are able to transmit yourself to the outside world in a meaningful and clear way.
Yes.
Okay,
And that it can be received,
correct,
calculated in their minds
right,
what's going on.
okay. So that implies rationality,
Yes. On whose basis? Because see, what's rational for you may not necessarily be rational for them.
but when you communicate, you already assess your audience, so you know what language level to speak from.
I'll tell you, I run into particular problems these days because that um, the language that this generation uses is quite abstract or different from the language that I use. I'll tell you this one thing. If you're going to exist in a world today with people that are far, far, far younger, we're talking about decades younger. If we, let's cap it at 80, if we're both in our early 80s, as the, what is it, the earth moving around the sun or the sun around the earth?
The earth revolves around the sun is the latest, most modern.
Okay. Yeah, that's how we're supposed to understand this. And I heard a lady say on YouTube today that the earth is old as 20 billion years old.
I heard that yesterday.
Do you believe that?
It's a possibility based upon me listening to her evidence and argument,
And go ahead.
and therefore I would have to take it all in and check it all out. I would have to choose to believe in the radiocarbon dating technique that the scientists use to date various objects from time immemorial. But she may be just being hyperbolic. But what does it matter whether it's 20 billion years or 10,000 years? As Ursula argued, the man who calculated the generations of the Bible back 10,000 years to Abraham.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's what captured me. My faith, my religion, that Christianity. Now, hear me. Prior to my aging and willing for my mind to expand, the only thing that I had to keep me engaged were these books that I have behind me, all this knowledge that I was taking in a young African American male body who had not discovered who he was fully yet. Yet I'm thrown into this zone of the prophets and spirits and the universe and the wars and the famines and this stuff. This stuff captured a fresh brain, Alphonse.
I hear you.
Man, baptize me in that, man. But then as I live these decades, my mind has changed.
And mine too.
Yes. Now, since my mind has changed, and yours has too, nor you nor I have dementia or Alzheimer's. We may sound like we have the symptoms thereof, but
yeah.
But Alphonse is a friend that'll never change. And the reason that we hooked up those many years ago, back in the 90s, damn, this is a long time ago. And Alphonse, would you say our demeanor was about the same back then, but we didn't have open and free discussions like these. All of our discussions was about what was packed in our head through that book, the Bible.
Right.
All of our discussions were about that. And didn't we take that to the 10th degree? Alphonse would ask a question in the classroom that would stun everybody. And they just look at Alphonse, and I said, leave him alone. Leave him alone. Alphonse and I will always be friends. Now, Alphonse, Here's the one question that I did not ask you before we came on. I hinted at it, but I want you to think with me. Of all the things that made and developed us as friends, of all the things, every time we met, every Bible study, every social event, do you remember we used to take the people of the church out and we went to this place in Lamert Park and they were serving wine and we listened to them play live music?
Right.
You were there with all of that. A friend. You've seen all the people that dealt with me. Alphonse, I'm telling you, is there anything that I have done in the past up to this present that would cause you not to want to be my friend?
No, sir. That's why I'm here, because I want closure. I'm testing myself. I know we both changed. So what I expect this encounter to provide for me is the common ground. You for me and me for you. There would be no more questions, no more doubting. I will no longer be a doubting Thomas, not just about you, but about everything.
Yes, yes, because that's what friends do, and that's old school friends. The monitor went out. Wait a minute, I get it back. I need an engineer, I know. And for some reason, this thing won't go on. So give me, Alphonse, you've given me so much to think about. Oh, here we are. No wonder. Here we are. There we are. That's the way we are looking. There we are. And I don't need to hear the feedback. There we are. And I don't need to hear. There. So, what am I to do, Alphonse, if professionally, I mean, like career speaking, what am I to do when I find people that have dealt with me on a professional level, on a career level? And this is mainly church, because a young man told me, he said, PJ, you got a lot on your mind and you need to get it off your chest. And of course, I denied it. But what gets me is the people that tell me that they were my friends and they're still alive and they don't want to talk with me. What am I supposed to do with that? What? How am I supposed to? How are you my friend? Why don't you want to sit down and talk with me? What is it about me? I don't think I'm a repulsive person. I'm a smart aleck. I always got an answer after the guy gives his last. And I beat him at logic, even if it is ghetto logics. Ghetto logics, for those of you that want me to be to the point.
How many times have you asked that question? If you were my friend, Why don't you want to talk to me? How many times have you asked each of those so-called friends that question? And why are you still not giving up by still continuing to ask the question?
I got through to them through proxy, through another, because if a person thinks me so repulsive, I wouldn't dare intrude on his self righteous
Mm.
cloud.
Therefore, that should be the dividing line right there.
Yes.
If he's self-righteous,
Uh,
how can you be authentic yourself?
because there was a story that he told me once, and it was a live event. It was when we were early in doing business together. And he told me a story about a friend that he had that he was in grad school with. And his young friend, I'm trying to get it right, had married.
Mhm.
And the woman that he married had a daughter that was a teenager, 17 years old, something like that, a minor. And this man, who had gone to religious school with him, had sexual relationships with the then minor child.
His stepdaughter.
Yes. And so when the trial for the man to come up, the man knew that he was going to do some time. And I think what I was told is the man said, "Look, I know I was wrong. I'm admitting my wrong. I'm a man of faith. I'm a man of faith. Please come to the court. I want to see your face because you love me." And I said to this man, "Did you go to the court? You said he was your friend? Your friend."
But he didn't believe it.
Well, why would he call him a friend?
Fear. Fear of not conforming to what was expected. Fear of not having a friend. Fear of being wrong. Fear of being wrong that I suspect you for not being my true friend. Fear. Fear of believing. Fear of not believing.
Mhm. Okay. Mm. I should have known when I was told the story and heard the results of him not going to court to encourage a friend, though wrong. I should have never engaged in business with this man. Wow.
The one who didn't go to court.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because a friend asked him to do what a friend would do.
Yeah.
I've answered my own question. Why doesn't a lot of my friends that used to And they may see this. That's why I'm doing it, because I want you to see this even after I die. Because I don't know why. Alphonse, I have church members. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't steal any money. I didn't screw anybody in the church. What? Why won't they even call me? To say, hey, PJ, don't have to call me Pastor John because I'm no longer your spiritual guru. But why won't you call me? And that's why I smoke my pipe. Oh, yes. See, a lot of them would say, see, he smokes his ganja, right? No. What do? They say, oh, he can't be a man of God. Why not? Because we can bring an accusation against you. And the Bible says, have them not bring an accusation against you, except by two or three or something like that. And I'm thinking about all these rules and everything else. If YouTube says I'm free and they just a company, why can't anybody else see that I'm free too? They won't call me. They think that I've dropped the mantle. Well, this is what a young man told me recently. He said, PJ, do you still love God? Ooh, with my whole heart, soul. I got Bibles, everything here. I read about it. It's called the Ancient Days. I still believe in God, but more than that, I believe in the power of a sound mind and truth. If you, my friend, be a friend. You young people out there that may listen to the old white-haired man, you're making friends of a lot of people. You're making friends of a lot of people out there. But I'm asking you to consider what kind of friend? Who is your friend? How do you choose them, Alphonse? How do you choose your friend? Are we to choose them? Or do we let fate put them in our paths? Think about my career as a pastor, as a philosopher, as a traffic officer. 18 years for the city of LA. All these careers, decades, 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 decades. What was it for? Who was it for? It seems that no one cares. And once we dissipate, die, are we done? The hope of every religion. And I learned this while teaching world religions. The hope of every religion and every peoples all around the globe. The hope is that they may find peace with themselves and then with God. And when that peace is found, they will see that they need no religion. I do not require a church to go to. Hear me out. I don't require a guru over me. Neither do you. I don't require, as I've been telling you all the years I've been knowing you. I said, oh, Alfonso, don't tell me you can't do it, because I'm, as your friend, would never ask you to do something that I didn't think you capable of doing. Have I ever asked you for $1,003?
No.
Thank you. See. And he knows that I never will ask him for it. That connects us, keeps us friends. Because Alphonse knows that John isn't out to hoodoo him. That's where you make a friend. And then Alphonse with his questions. This man would ask some questions about the Christian faith in my classroom that only a triple PhD educated at Harvard could produce. I'm telling you, Alphonse, the classroom waited on your questions because they knew that you were the only one that could come close. We're friends. You see what makes us friends? There has to be something in the person that you say is your friend that makes them your friend, and you must be able to define in order to qualify that as friends. Now, back to the original question. Why would people that said that they made friends with me some time ago now, why? Were they really my friends? Now, I don't want to judge, because I could say, as this finger is right here, the only friend that I have is me. No. We used to sing a song in church. There's not a friend like the lowly Jesus. No, not one. No, not one. And then there's another one. What a friend we have in Jesus. I see all this friendship around these organizations, people going to these churches. Oh, I love you, my dear brother. I love you, my dear sister. I think the young people see through that, Alphonse. I'm just going to tell you the truth. Mental health is a mess out there. It is a mess out there, Alphonse. I sit in this office and I look out the windows of the Lucy Coleman studio. It's like the movie The Time Machine. You remember the one with Rod Taylor, the original Time Machine, back in, come on, The Time Machine, when he makes this thing and it swirls and takes you to a different time. If I had got on the time machine, here's something to think about. If I had gotten on the time machine back in 1967 when I married Lucy and moved myself up to here to this day right now, no, because you got to be in the same location. okay, I could do it. Yeah. Because in 1967, yeah, right, I was in this house. If I could move myself up from the time machine from there to here, would I remember the decades?
Yeah. If you were healthy, if those memories had not been repressed into your unconsciousness because they were too painful to remember, you would remember.
To what capacity? Fully remember or just
Well, I can't answer that because I'm still waiting for my recollection.
now you know that's Alphonse Carter. You better know it. Alphonse has never let me down. Oh, now maybe it's this, Alphonse. Maybe the answer to my question. Que sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera. See how these white folk got their music in my head?
It's mine too. It's called acculturation. We've all been acculturated.
And that's all we need to realize and stop fighting with the foolishness.
Correct.
Come to freedom. That's what I did in that religion. I came to complete freedom. God, I love you. I'm going to prove I love you by loving everybody I meet and being a loving personality. And if you show me the people that are more like me, I'll love them more like me because they're more like me. Because you made all of this. Once a friend, always a friend. I guess I'm the kind of person that wants to believe because I am friendly that not all people are friendly or don't want to be friendly with me.
Say that again.
That not all people are friendly or they just don't want to be friendly with me.
Oh, okay. One time, what year? Around 19. Wow. Yes, it had to have been around 1964.
All right, I was 20.
I accompanied my mother from San Francisco to Oakland to see some friends of hers.
Mm-hmm.
And she interfaced for a few minutes. And when we got ready to leave, she remarked to them, "You never call me, therefore I will never come to see you again, and I will never call you again." And I said to myself, But if you have something to say to them, why not continue to reach out?
Because she was hurt.
Yeah.
She was hurt. Oh, I've been hurt. Oh, God. I know what hurt is. Oh, God. Man, the thing that hurt me the most in my life, he knows. Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to tell you the truth, Alphonse. It would be hard for me. It's always been hard for me to be in love with a thing, a person. It's always been hard for me to be in love with that, regardless of what it is. If I like a certain design of paisley on a tie in a dark red wine color, I like that. And when I find that and life works together harmoniously, it was all found in a statement in the Bible where it says that Jonathan and David were more than friends. For it says that they loved each other with more than it meant to love a woman. That's friendship. And I was naive to think that most of the people that I put myself around in my professional life, no, it's good to get it off your chest at 79 and think of how many people. That's why I love this YouTube. Because it'll be up until they take it down. And if some little 10-year-old boy on the other side of the world with a little phone tinkling with it and boop, this picture pops on the screen, the boy's going to look, hit the translator. Translator's going to let him know what we're talking about. And he's going to see this. You are the most beautiful, beautiful object that ever existed on this planet. And I just thought that I'd come to visit you and share that experience. Now go back to work. Because when I said that, I really had in my heart that I was talking to somebody that would see this maybe a million years from now. they can look and say, that's what the elders sounded like back in 2023 after we've been through the bullshit. The only other objective that I can give to asking me why I'm having these thoughts and feelings, because if a psychiatrist or psychologist or somebody black with a brain sees this, maybe he'll be able to psychoanalyze who the flume and fart PJ really was. You know what I feel like I am? I'll tell you this. I feel like I was a king somewhere and somebody came and took my throne and cursed me, and I was born to Mary and John on this planet. That's why I was so easily whitewashed. But then I matured and went through it all. No, went through it all as I matured and know that you can speak. See, not the way these other charlatans were doing that I was coming against on the radio. They were fleecing the flock to pad their own pockets. Some might say, but they had a task to perform. Well, what task was that? To take advantage of the fools. To take, but no, those are part of my people. You can't do that to my people. I'm not gonna let you get away with that. Now I'm living in a free society. Well, you've helped me. This is what I've come to. I'm going to let well enough alone. Do you remember what your grandma taught you that meant? To leave well enough alone? Because these youngsters listening to us have never heard that term. Let well enough alone. What does that mean? Had to put you on the spot one time. If I leave well enough alone on this issue, I'm to drop it and to never pick it up again.
Right.
It's well enough alone. Yeah. Thank you. I'm so glad you came by. And let me see, how long was my show? There was a technical difficulty because this show was not advertised like the other one was. So I'm going to have to go on the insides and work it out and switch a couple of shows around until I get it right. Well, thank you, Alphonse. It's always good talking to you. Oh, my goodness. I won't even, yes, I will. A lady walked by my office in her pajamas, hair all over her head, and she stopped and spun around right in front of my two flags. She's a sister. She's in her world, and she too deserves. Thank you, people, for coming. Thank you, Alphonse, for showing up.
Thanks for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to
Too late.